Welcome to today's episode of r/AskReddit. Created by Raunchy Reddits. We're a new channel, so please remember to like and subscribe. Millennials, what is one thing that the rest of us just don't understand? Most people don't know the age of millennials. To them, a millennial is someone that they hate and happens to be younger than them. Can confirm. I saw a lady on Facebook who essentially trashed millennials in one paragraph and in the next bragged about her daughter being in a high-level position at her company and working very hard after finishing college. She was convinced her daughter wasn't a millennial, even when people showed her the ranges. The discussion devolved into an argument about what the year range was. That nearly every place you apply wants you to do it online. No, going in will not help you get your foot in the door. More often than not, it's just going to annoy them. Also, super annoying when people don't believe you about this, so they go in and ask for an application and are told to apply online. Like, I legit could have told you this would happen. I was at Target, working behind the counter at the customer service desk, saw a guy walk in and insist on applying in person. They found him a physical application, and once he left they threw it in the trash. That was one of the managers who did that, by the way. How to rotate a goddamn PDF. Control-Shift+. Okay, I'm 37 and I didn't know this. I thought Control+ is to zoom in. Why it is that most of the older generation, and some millennials, can have something called a cell phone in their pocket and decide to never take a minute to fact-check something that sounds suspicious. One of my old neighbors, over 70, hates it when young people can't answer a question and reach for their phone to look something up. Even worse, when they use the phone to prove him wrong. He expects everyone to be an encyclopedia. And before it's asked, he's not that clever or knowledgeable. Just very opinionated. When we don't really sell ourselves on Microsoft programs in job interviews, it's because that's like asking if we know how to write. We grew up with the crap. It's not hard. I think that only applies to Word, and I've learned a ton of stuff you can do in Word in my current job that I never knew about. Excel is a whole different language and I know nothing about the other programs. The whole "just go get a better job / put out for a promotion" line of thought. A lot of the time we just can't do that, and one particularly annoying part of it is because you're still sitting at the top. In my profession there is very little to no upward movement. The median age for a full-time teacher where I've worked is in the late 50s, early 60s. Nothing against them, as sometimes they can have brilliant ideas, techniques. But it's frustrating to look at the job ladder and see no one going up because people can't get off, and you can't get on. When people who grew into adulthood in the 2000s and 2010s ignore your economic, career advice, it's not because we're snotty or ungrateful or don't value your opinion. It's because the economy is so different that advice which may have been good in the 50s to 80s is not likely to still be good. Just walk right in and ask to talk to the CEO and say, "I want a job." MS Word is not a freaking design program and shouldn't be used as one. Also, PowerPoint is also not a design program. And if you're going to use PowerPoint as a design program, please at least export it as a PDF. I use PowerPoint to make memes. The whole "I had my house paid by the time I was 25" from old people. Houses cost a whole lot less than, Barbara. I found the paperwork for my grandparents' house some time ago. Back in the 50s, they paid $5,500 for a 900 square foot house and their mortgage was, get this, $30 a month. Today's dollars, that house would be about $50,000? But why aren't millennials buying houses? That it's hard, even in my early 30s with a good full-time job, to afford rent and food and everything else. I wish I had been born in a time where working a job like I have now would pay for a 3-bedroom house and 2 cars. No, I'm not lazy. I just don't think I should have to work 2 full-time jobs just to survive. Yes. And that most jobs aren't even full-time. They're either contract full-time or part-time so that businesses don't have to pay benefits. That the average millennial is 30 years old, not a teeny bopper or college kid. That most of us have actually done customer service jobs our whole life. And when people talk about how millennials and the younger generations are all about instant gratification. Each and every one of us has vivid memories of old fricking dirtbags throwing goddamn tantrums because they didn't get their way right that very moment. Old people have absolutely no patience for anything. Younger people typically have more manners. Ever been to a professional sporting event and groaned at the price of admission, concessions, and even water? It's been kind of like living an entire life inside of that stadium. You deserve gold, but this thread is full of millennials and no one's got the cash. We may very well be the first overeducated generation in the history of this country. Most of us have college degrees, and very sizable portion of us have graduate degrees too. We have these because we basically have to in order to even have the chance of making enough money for a comfortable life as adults. We are a little pissed off because we all grew up being told that if you do okay in high school and go to college, you'll be able to get a job that'll pay you well enough to live the life you want to live. Then, we did those things, and when we got to the other end of it, it was all basically jerked away. The economy is growing but our paychecks are not. Economists will tell you that wages generally increase with productivity, that you're paid in line with the value of what you do. Related to this, that a $20,000 salary today is not equal to a $20,000 salary decades ago. Almost every advantage prior generations had has been stripped away. Affordable college, wages that allow you to pay rent and buy food. Other things like retirement security, no 401ks with fees that chew up your savings or bubbles that wipe it out. Unemployment protections have even become unreliable if you get laid off. And forget going to the dentist regularly, good luck maintaining health insurance. Work hard for less and be called a whiner for pointing it out. This is for the older people. Yes, you are wiser than us. Yes, you have more experience than us. But your advice usually does not apply to the times. That's not how we did it back in the day. Yeah, that's the point, Grandma. Times change. People change. Technology changes. Don't get mad at us because we lived in a time of increasing convenience. And most importantly, it's ironic how millennials are viewed in a bad light, but we are expected to solve all the world's problems. Edit, I understand that old age usually does not come with wisdom. But man, the older people I've come across say the wisest things. And for the most part they do know what they're talking about. There are a few old people who talk out of their ass, but for the most part, wisdom runs through their blood. Labor jobs are not shameful and you can actually earn good money doing it. Trades are dying because we were told to go to college and then get a desk job because it's better than what mom or dad does now. I make more money now as a 23-year-old millennial in a labor job than my parents made combined when I was growing up. But they had a large 2-story house in the burbs when I grew up, and now that I make such good money they can't fathom how I still can't afford to get my own house, or why I still have to drive an old beat-up truck rather than have a newer vehicle and park out in a garage of a nice house. Probably because y'all messed the housing market and economy so bad that making $80,000 a year I still can barely afford to support my wife, who also works, and son, the freeloading 2-year-old that just refuses to get a job. Geez. I can't afford to live on my own. I have a degree, goddammit. I don't have kids, I don't have unnecessary extra expenses to cut out of my life. I just can't afford to live on my own. That's just how our economy is right now. Please, stop shaming millennials for needing help to afford housing and food. 2 incomes are borderline necessary in this economy, so don't try and make me become a housewife. I can't afford to be a housewife. I can't afford children. I can't afford a home. We're not destroying industries like diamonds, magazines, designer handbags, and starter homes. Those industries aren't accessible to a lot of us. We hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe to our brand new channel for more great Reddit readings.